Sometimes I oftentimes feel like I've lived more than one lifetime. I've kind of done a lot. I'm a serial entrepreneur. Recently, I've gotten involved in construction and development. I really enjoy building things. It's definitely profitable. There's always a demand. I never really understood this, but now I get why so many people want to get involved in real estate. There's a satisfaction you get out of knowing that you've created something or part of the chain of custody where somebody gets a new home.
I want to know, how did you end up being on Bravo
On
TV
Bravo.
show?
Well,
How'd that happen?
I got recruited. I got a phone call. I wouldn't change my decision for anything, and I'm very happy that I did it. It came with its good and bad. I would summarize my first season as that I was an audience member with a front row seat. And I got to do things and go places I wouldn't have been able to otherwise.
Yeah.
And also help people and be part of fundraising and nonprofits that, because of this. So it was nice.
A lot of people already know you, but for those of you that are getting introduced to Shervin today, tell us more about Shervin.
Tell us more about Shervin. How much time do we have? Sometimes I get lost. I oftentimes feel like I've lived more than one lifetime. I've kind of done a lot. I'm a serial entrepreneur, and being a serial entrepreneur, I've experienced many different stages, different categories of business, different levels of business. I spent almost a quarter of a century in the tech industry.
Really?
Yeah, I did hardware in the Bay Area. I mean, I grew up there, so you grow up in Silicon Valley, it's kind of hard not to end up doing something tech related. And so I did that, and then I moved to Southern California, where, as you know, I was in entertainment for 9 years. And then I sold off my tech assets. I did invest a short period of time in a hospitality group, clubs and restaurants and lounges. Probably won't be doing that one again. My father, at the very beginning, told me, go spend your money in these places. You don't have to own them, right?
Oh.
Yeah, that was probably good advice.
Okay.
It's not for me. Anyway,
Yeah.
It's a tough industry. So, and then most recently, I've gotten involved in construction and development. So I really enjoy building things. It's fun. Yeah.
It's profitable.
It's definitely profitable. There's always a demand. Particularly right now, California is having a major housing crisis, as I'm sure you know, and things are very expensive, and residents of California are moving out in drones.
Yeah.
So they can't afford to live here, and that is potentially going to be very, very dangerous for our economy, because the residents that are moving out are our blue collar manual labor, and as you know, no economy can operate without that.
Yeah.
You do need people to do the labor in order for the rest of the business to work.
Yeah.
It's chain linked. So California is changing some laws and making it easier for developers and more enticing for developers to build smaller, more affordable housing.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the new wave right now, I think.
So apartment buildings?
Yeah, apartment buildings, but also like there's some zoning changes that have happened. There's not a whole lot of new land per se. We're not like Vegas or Dallas, where they just can expand almost, indefinitely.
So are you tearing down?
No, so it's additions.
Oh,
right?
okay.
So actually there's a new ADU law for apartment buildings, and if it has a space on the lot, you could build up to 8 more units.
Really?
So in theory, you could buy a 4-unit apartment building, and if it's got a parking lot, you can turn it into a 12-unit.
Really? Just build up?
Well, yeah, like your 2-story, for example, you could build up another 4 and 4 if you have the room on the parking lot.
Wow, okay.
So there's and they've taken away all the parking requirements.
Okay.
So as you've seen, as anybody that's been in LA over the last few years, there's a lot of traffic when you get to Beverly Hills and West LA because they're building the metro.
Yeah.
So they're really pushing this public transportation. And so in doing so, they're requiring less parking requirements for developers.
Oh, wow.
So basically, they're not anticipating people having cars as much, right? Which isn't totally incorrect. I mean, Gen X is not as much of a car culture as the previous generations.
True.
They like ride share.
Yeah.
They drive Teslas. I mean, no offense to anybody who drives a Tesla, but if you drive a Tesla, you're not a car person.
Yeah.
That's a software thing.
It's kind of like New York, not a lot of parking.
Yes, like New York, very similar to that.
Okay. And besides at ADUs, are you doing also groundbreaking, like
Yeah, new construction builds.
like lots,
Yeah,
buying lots.
definitely. We definitely do that. There are there's actual affordable housing projects that we get involved in as well.
Really?
Yeah, so it's not HUD, it's affordable housing. California has something slightly different. And they're actually very, I think it's someone modeled after what they do in like very densely populated cities like Tokyo and London. They're micro units.
Oh,
So the apartment's 350 square feet.
really?
So to put that into perspective, 2 parking spots is 400 square feet.
Yeah.
So you're the whole apartment. I mean, the refrigerator is about this big, and
Yeah.
actually, believe it or not, we get a washer and dryer into there too.
Stackable, for
Yeah,
sure.
stackable for sure, and it holds about as many clothes as you can put into a pot. But hey, it's there.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
What are the rents going for?
1,700
$1,700 for a micro unit.
I mean, it is a brand new build.
Really?
Yeah, but
Have you completed one already?
I've been part of a project that's completed quite a few. Yes.
Oh, really? Okay. So you're working on one now, I'm sure.
Yeah, we've got some different projects going on live right now.
Under construction?
We're under construction and some in escrow.
Yeah.
And you know, that's the atmosphere. It's constantly changing, constantly moving. And
Yeah.
you have to always be filling the pipe.
Yeah.
Right? Because if the pipeline dries out, then you're going to end up sitting with your hands folded, right?
Yeah. Do you build them to rent them out, or do you build them to sell them?
We do build them to rent them out.
Okay.
You know, wise man once said, don't sell real estate.
Yeah.
So once you get it, you kind of want to hold it as much as you can.
Wow. Okay. So you're probably with a lot of investors.
We do. We're constantly we're working with different investment groups. They're commonly known as syndicates, right? So we'll form a syndicate for each project. And we're always looking for, you know, new fresh minds that want to bring something to the table.
Yeah.
And kind of join a syndicate and help us get things going.
What's your company name with the real estate?
Well, each one gets its own corporation.
Oh, okay.
Right? So I'm Infinity Investments. So,
Infinity Investments.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've been doing that for a while, and it's been fun. I love building stuff.
Yeah.
You know, there's a certain feeling you get, and I never really understood this, but now I get why so many people want to get involved in real estate. There's a satisfaction you get out of knowing that you've created something or part of the chain of custody where somebody gets a new home.
Yeah.
You know, it feels, it's satisfying. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, what's going to happen in this home? How many kids are they going to have? You know, what lessons are those kids going to learn? How many times are people going to smile and laugh and cry?
Yeah.
And it'll be there way longer than I will.
Yeah.
Right. So
True.
it kind of helps you're part of something, you know.
I can imagine. Have you thought about hotels?
Hotels, its own business, and it's amazing, by the way.
Yeah. I only ask because I have a friend that does it.
Do you?
Oh my gosh, so successful.
Hotels are, and you know, it's like all hotels are successful. Well, I know this guy
Turnkey.
Amazing, and I know this guy that has a bunch of the ones like kind of in the middle of nowhere, right? Like 30-unit hotels, you know, like the Motor Inn, you know.
Yes.
And he does very well.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you're taking a space that might have a value of, you know, maybe 3 figures a foot, and you're getting that for a night.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
yeah, it adds up quick.
Yeah. Obviously, California hotels are too expensive. So yeah, this buddy of mine, actually he's my accountant. He's a CPA, and he and his dad have been buying Marriott hotels throughout the US.
Oh wow.
So successful.
That is great.
Yeah.
Hotels are awesome. You know what else is awesome? Mobile home parks.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're in need.
Mobile home parks are huge. And you know, it has this like negative connotation of the stigma to it, which is very incorrect. I mean, certain parts of the country, it's part of the culture, you know. And there's some nice mobile homes. You know, I heard
even Ocean View.
There's the park in Malibu.
Yeah.
Those ones are crazy. I mean, they're known, right? But I heard each one's like $2 million, right?
What?
Yeah, they're a little special.
Oh my gosh.
I heard Matthew McConaughey lives in one of those.
Wow. There's some nice ones here in Newport with Ocean View.
Yeah, see?
And I think they're going for like 600.
Wow.
To be honest.
Well, if you own the land, all you're doing is you're providing a sewer connection and an electrical connection.
Yeah.
And you collect rent for it.
Wow.
Right? So that's it. You're renting out land.
Wow. So you have learned a lot from the tech.
Yeah, done
you
some
go from
homework.
tech to... Well, I want to know, how did you end up being on Bravo TV show?
Well,
how'd that happen?
I got recruited. I got a phone call. Well, no, I got a Facebook message from a girl that said, hey, I got a chance to look into your life via your Facebook, and I'm casting for a show, a new season, and I'd love to have a conversation with you. And the first thing I did was get on my group text and tell all my friends that I'm not falling for it, and a nice try. And one by one, everybody's like, no, man, I think that's real. Maybe you should have a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So I entertained a phone call. She sent me over an NDA. I signed it, sent it back, and then we had a conversation. And she found me interesting, I guess. And she said, and invited me down for an on-camera interview. And I kind of went through the stages of interview, and then they made me an offer. Right?
Yeah.
So it was one of those situations where, look, I didn't chase it. I didn't go after it. And it just kind of fell in my lap.
Yeah.
And I really believe in when opportunity knocks, you open. And it was an experience. I wouldn't change my decision for anything. And I'm very happy that I did it. It came with its good and bad.
Was there a lot of drama?
That's what it is, right?
Drama sells.
Drama sells. I mean, I always say nobody wants to see 8 engineers sit around and talk about what book they read last week.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You want to see the feistiness and the, you know. The first season, I swear to God, I just felt like I would summarize my first season as that I was an audience member with a front row seat. Because I just sat there.
You weren't in the drama.
No, I just stared at it in awe.
Yeah.
Right. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. We got to do some really cool things. It opened up some really amazing windows for me. And I got to do things and go places I wouldn't have been able to otherwise. Yeah. And also help people and be part of fundraising and nonprofits that, you know, because of this. So it was nice. It was cool. And hey, you know, I have an experience I guess I get to share with my kids one day.
Yeah, they get to watch you on TV.
Yeah. Well,
they're still playing it, you know.
We're gonna wait till a certain age. They're a certain age before they're allowed to watch that. But yeah.
How many kids do you want?
At least 2, hopefully.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
I don't want him to be by himself. And I feel like I'm a little old for more than 2, so I think but we gotta get that going.
Yeah. So you recently moved from, I think, the city, Beverly Hills, to the Valley.
To Calabasas.
Calabasas. Do you like it?
I absolutely love it.
It's quieter.
It's peaceful. It's clean. It's safe.
Yes.
You know, unfortunately, there's been a lot of crime that's kind of raised up in the city.
Break-ins,
burglaries, home invasions, you know, being robbed on the street. And it's just, you know, my mom comes to visit. She wants to go for a walk. I'm nervous. Right. Oh. Or if we go to dinner, it's like, you have to consciously think, don't wear your watch. Right. So that's not what it's like in Calabasas.
Yeah.
You know, it's quiet. We're in a beautiful community. There's a sense of community because, you know, we've actually made a lot of friends that are neighbors.
Yeah.
And it's weird because it's been since college, didn't have friends because they're my neighbors. I've had friends that happen to move close to me. But being a neighbor, the sense of community is amazing.
Yeah.
Right? And
you didn't get that in the city.
No, there's too much turnaround, too much hustle and bustle. You don't really get the chance to meet too many of your neighbors.
Yeah.
You know, I met a few.
Yeah.
You know, I lived in a building where it was a little bit like a community, but again, there was just such a high turnover of people that came and went.
Wow.
That you can't really develop a relationship, if you will. But yeah, it's, you know, this is a different time of life for me. So I'm not complaining. I live in the hills. I live in the city. It was fun for where I was in life and what I wanted, what I was looking for. It fed its purpose.
Yeah.
But now I want something totally different. And this peace and quiet and serenity and space is definitely a top priority for me. So I'm really enjoying it. I'm renting right now because we decided let's go try it first before I buy something. Right?
Do you want to build your own home there?
Maybe, you know, or maybe buy something. Or, you know, the funny thing is I always said, if I'm going to try Calabasas, if it works. If not, I'm headed to Newport. So it was the toss-up. Either this or that.
Probably the same price.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's very similar.
But you are closer to the beach here.
You are. That's true. Although we're like 15 minutes from Malibu there.
True. That's true.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's a little different. I like both, you know, so door's not closed. But yeah, you know, it's been since the TV show and kind of things settling down, like I said, I feel like I've lived many lifetimes.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in another one.
Yeah.
And it's cool. Like, wow, I never thought I'd be the guy that gets up at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning and is passed out by 10 p.m. Right?
Yeah.
But I do, and I love it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I start my day fresh. I get up. I get to the gym. I run around at work. I go to the project sites. Sometimes
Every day?
Sometimes I'll go to a second time to the gym, and then I'll head back.
Yeah.
And it's very productive. It's very efficient. It's very self-satisfying. It just feels good. I feel like I'm in a good place and a good role. The older gentleman at the gym the other day said, well, these are your earning years.
Oh, for
right?
sure.
Yeah. So I guess I got to try to earn what I can.
Yeah.
I wanted to tell you, so we did a little bit of, been doing a little bit of angel investing.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So
Tell us about
I
it.
got a really cool one we've invested in, and hopefully everything works out. It becomes a household name. It's called Janus.
Janus.
And it's put together by a couple top AI guys, neuroscientists, some engineers, and they've created this collar that goes around a dog, and or actually works on cats. It's been tested on horses, so it works on all kinds of animals, and it Bluetooth reads their brainwaves,
Okay.
and translates it via app, essentially making the dog talk.
No way.
Yes. It's pretty.
Have you seen it in
yes,
action?
I've seen the prototype. I've seen it in action. It definitely works. It's AI. It's AI powered. So the more it gets used and the more it goes out there, the more data it's going to get back and it's going to be able to process. So the better it gets.
Okay.
Right? But
have they launched yet?
They haven't launched. This is they're in early stages. We were seed investors, and it's very interesting. I can't mention any names, but if you look up the largest pet food company in the world, that's the name.
They own it?
No, very interested in it.
Okay.
They're definitely on the radar, and have done some testing and are very pleased with what they saw.
Wow.
So it's
Janus, Janus.
Janus, yeah. But I think it's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, I need one for my dog.
Who doesn't want that?
Do you have dogs?
My dog passed away many years ago, but I remember my mom used to always say, I would give anything to know what she's thinking right now. Right?
Same.
But in this case, you're going to be able to understand when they're feeling good, when they're not feeling good. This should hopefully be able to help discover if there's something wrong with your pet before it gets too far down the path. It also measures their sleep, their activity, their attention. Yep. And it has multiple color LEDs. So whoever's had a dog, they know when you walk your dog and it sees another dog, they somehow like to communicate with each other.
Yeah.
Well, this will measure if they're being aggressive or not. It'll go red or green. So you'll know not to take your dog close to the one that's red because it's in an aggressive.
On emotions.
Yes, on emotions.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So there's a lot of utility to this thing. I think it's really cool. I couldn't say no. This was just, and I know one of the founders really well.
So you're one of the investors.
I'm one of the founding members. I'm considered. Yeah.
Wow!
So,
Congratulations.
Thank you. This is an exciting one, and I think
so. You're back in tech.
It hits
kind
home.
of.
Kind of. Yeah. I kind of am. Let's be realistic. It's 2024. You're not going to be able to do anything without any kind of tech. It's just not possible.
Yeah.
And and right now the hot word is AI. Right. Anything that has AI, it's kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
So yeah, I'm excited for it, and once we go out to beta, I'll give you a call. Maybe we'll get your dog on the beta program.
Yes. Yeah. Sounds expensive though, huh?
No.
No.
I think the pricing model is like $130 for the collar.
Totally worth it.
And then it's like $10 a month subscription because it's continually evolving.
To be honest, I would pay $250.
Yeah, see, I would do the same, right?
To talk to my dog.
People, and then the further stages, collar will have like a GPS monitoring, et cetera, and so forth. So start to add up other SKUs as well.
That's genius.
That's pretty cool.
Okay.
That's pretty cool. We did have a potential investor out of Saudi Arabia that required it to be able to work on falcons, which is, a request that you would only get from Saudi Arabia. But yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Or tigers or lions.
Yeah. So, over here we're focusing on the chihuahuas, but yeah, same stuff.
Congratulations.
It's exciting. It's really exciting. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So one of your projects is going to be done soon. give me an idea from start to finish, from groundbreaking to completion, to like turn over the keys. Does it take like a year?
2 years.
2 years.
2 years. And, you know, a lot of that is just going to be the lagging from the normal stuff, the city inspections. You have to go through jump through the hoops.
Construction.
There's some red tape. The construction itself is pretty streamlined. Again, you're not building $30 million custom home.
Yeah.
So it's not, we call this contractor grade. By the way, for people that don't know what contractor grade means, it means the least expensive material you can find.
Okay.
Right? So stuff you get at Home Depot.
Yeah.
Right. You're not dealing with really high-end marble that requires a certain specific skill set to install it and put it in. That take their time. It's all very quick, you know, pre-manufactured stuff. So everything happens pretty streamlined, pretty quickly. But you have to stop because the city has to approve for fire. Or you have to get the approval to hook up the electricity, or you have to get the approval for the plumbing. So those things, because you're now coordinating with city inspectors and, you know, working with their schedules and seeing when they can come and whatnot, those things kind of slow it down a little bit.
Okay.
But I say 2 years. Realistically, it's 18 to 20 months, but we always give elbow room.
That's what you tell your investors,
yeah,
like
we
2
always
years?
our projections are always on 2 years, yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's always better under promise and over deliver, right?
Yeah. So if you ever want to meet with my accountant, they not only buy hotels, but they also build them from ground up.
Oh, wow.
They buy the lot and then
That's
just
great.
build the hotel.
It's so smart to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, the guy's an accountant. He counts money for a living.
Yeah.
I'm sure he knows how to make it.
Yeah. Well, most of their money, they bring it from India.
Oh, wow.
So.
Okay. Very cool. Yeah, that international investment's huge. So much has been built off of that here.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm so excited that you came today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let us know where to find you. We're gonna put his platform, his profile, where you can find him and probably invest in his company.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
And congrats
Anytime.
on the new podcast.
Yes,
this is
thank
awesome.
you. We're gonna have you come back next year.
Yes, ma'am.
And see what you're selling.
Oh, I'm in. Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.